On August 6, 2025, an internal emergency shook Netflix to its core. Executives held urgent meetings. Legal teams mobilized. And at the center of the crisis was Meghan Markle, accused of orchestrating what may be the most flagrant plagiarism scandal in modern Hollywood history, the second season of With Love. Meghan, once positioned as a career-defining project, has imploded. The fallout is ongoing, public, and devastating. The scandal erupts. Behind those Netflix boardroom doors, something shocking is happening. Ted Sarandos, the CEO who once championed Meghan as Netflix's crown jewel, is now leading a frame-by-frame investigation that's uncovering something so damaging, so career-ending, that even Hollywood veterans are gasping. Think about it. When a streaming giant worth billions starts scrutinizing every single second of footage, something catastrophic has been discovered: the narcissistic pattern. But here's where it gets really interesting. Sources deep inside Netflix are painting a picture of Meghan that's absolutely jaw-dropping. We're talking about someone so convinced of her own untouchability that she literally thought she could steal entire scenes from other shows and nobody would notice. The arrogance is astronomical. While preaching about toxic masculinity and social justice behind the scenes, she was apparently building her entire show on other people's creativity. The hypocrisy is so thick you could cut it with a knife. The food truck. Up. Bombshell. Then came the discovery that changed everything. Netflix executives stumbled upon something that made their blood run cold. An entire episode that was essentially a carbon copy of the great food truck race from 2010. Imagine this scene. Meghan and her celebrity friends competing in food trucks on the streets of Malibu. Sounds original, right? Wrong. It was lifted almost scene for scene from a show that aired 15 years ago. But wait, it gets worse. When confronted, Meghan's initial response wasn't remorse. It wasn't an apology. She actually had the audacity to claim it was just inspiration. It's a confrontation. Picture the tension in that room when Netflix executives sat Meghan down for what insiders are calling the interrogation. Hour after hour of intense questioning, the pressure mounting, the evidence undeniable. And then it's cracked. After denying, deflecting, and playing the victim, Meghan finally admitted the truth. But her excuse: this is where your jaw will hit the floor. She actually said, and I quote, she thought nobody would notice because the shows were old and outdated. Let that sink in. She genuinely believed she could rob creative content because it was old. The domino effect. But the food truck scandal was just the tip of the iceberg. Once Meghan started confessing, the floodgates opened. Gordon Ramsay's shows copied Rachel Ray's content, stolen Pamela Anderson's Cooking with Love. You guessed it, plagiarized. Her defense: this just happens in show business. People copy each other all the time. Excuse me? No, Meghan. No, they don't. Not like this. Not this blatantly. Not this shamelessly. Ted Sarandos in crisis mode. Now, let's talk about Ted Sarandos, the man who's watching his reputation crumble in real time. This is the CEO who personally approved these scenes, who championed Meghan as Netflix's future, who ignored every red flag waving in his face. Industry insiders are brutal. He should have seen this coming from a mile away. Studios had already blacklisted her. The warning signs were everywhere. She was notorious for being impossible to work with, overly demanding, and, as we're now discovering, ethically challenged. But Sarandos, he rolled out the red carpet anyway, and now he's scrambling to save not just the show, but his entire legacy. The Netflix meltdown. Here's what's really happening at Netflix right now. They're hemorrhaging subscribers. They're raising prices while removing beloved content. And in the middle of this disaster, they're stuck with Meghan Markle, a woman just admitted to serial plagiarism. The irony is suffocating. While Netflix axes shows people actually love, While they jack up subscription costs, they're pouring millions into damage control for someone who literally couldn't create original content if her life depended on it. Think about what this means for you, the viewer. Your subscription dollars are funding this circus. Your favorite shows are disappearing while Netflix throws money at fixing Meghan's mess. The cover-up. Operation, but here's the bombshell nobody's talking about. Netflix isn't just investigating. They're in full damage control mode. They've scrapped entire episodes. They're doing emergency reshoots. They're bringing in experts to scan every frame for more plagiarism. The cost. Astronomical. We're talking millions upon millions of dollars. And why? Because canceling the show outright would be even more expensive. The contract with Meghan is so complex, so legally binding, that Netflix is literally trapped. They can't cancel it. They can't release it as is. They're stuck in purgatory, bleeding money while trying to salvage something, anything from this disaster. The pattern of deception. But let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture here. This isn't just about copying a food truck show. This is about a pattern of behavior so toxic, so destructive, that it's left a trail of burned bridges across Hollywood. Every studio that rejected her, vindicated. Every executive who passed on. Her projects looking like geniuses right now. Because they saw what Ted Sarandos refused to see, that beneath the royal title and the PR machine was someone willing to steal, lie, and destroy to get what she wanted. And the victims. The original creators whose work was stolen. The Netflix employees now working overtime to fix this mess. The subscribers paying more for less content while this drama unfolds. The final revelation, so here's where we stand. Meghan Markle has admitted to plagiarizing content from at least 4 different shows. Netflix is in full crisis mode, desperately trying to salvage a show that's already dead in the water. And Ted Sarandos' reputation is in tatters. But the real question is this: how? Many more stolen scenes are hiding in that footage. How deep does this plagiarism rabbit hole actually go? And most importantly, will Netflix finally pull the plug on this disaster? Or will they continue throwing good money after bad? One thing's for certain, this scandal isn't over. Not by a long shot. Because when you build an empire on stolen foundations, it's only a matter of time before the whole thing comes crashing down. And Meghan Markle, she's about to learn that in Hollywood you can fake a lot of things, but you can't fake talent.